Hello guys, and welcome back to another beautiful Wednesday. Now today I want to talk about something very interesting, and something which presents a huge opportunity, but people just don't seem to take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, I speak to so many people who could easily benefit from this and easily make lots of money, but for some reason it's just because of fear of the unknown that they don't take advantage of it. Now, what's this thing I'm talking about? I'm talking about e-commerce. Now, I know what most of you are thinking. When the moment you mention e-commerce, people think, wow, developers and e-commerce systems and credit card payments and lots of high-end technology. Definitely not for the entry-level person. But that's wrong. That's a wrong mentality. It's never been easier to get into e-commerce. Trust me. It's so easy now that anybody, whether it's an IT fundi or a mom making pickles, bottling pickles at home, anybody and everybody can get into e-commerce, and fairly easily too. And it reminds me of something I keep telling you guys, which is when you look at global trends. The global formal employment sector is on a decline. We know that, right? Everybody's saying that, not just here in South Africa. Even though President Ramaphosa said it, it's a global phenomenon. The employment sector is on a decline. What does this mean? It means that companies are hiring less and less people because they are streamlining, because they are using AI, because they are using technology. So there's no need for as many people as there used to be at one stage. So now people are finding themselves unable to get employment. Again, not just here in South Africa. It's one of the worst here in South Africa. The situation is among the worst in the world, but it's a global phenomenon. But that's the bad news. The good news is this, that entrepreneurship has never been easier. The barriers to entry, to getting into your own business, have never been lower. What does that mean? It means simply that there are much less obstacles to starting your own business. Whereas in the past, it was quite complicated. Let's go not 2 decades ago. 2 decades ago, if you wanted to start a retail store, a retail business, you would need to go to a shopping center or a mall, look for an empty premises, negotiate with the landlord, sign up a lease, get fixtures and fittings, buy stock, hire staff, crazy, man, so many different things. And it was risky, extremely risky. I mean, you would pour $500,000, $750,000, sometimes over $1 million into this business, and you don't even know if it's going to work. And then what you do, you start putting out adverts, and you wait and hope and pray that people will come and buy your products. It was an expensive exercise. It was a very tedious exercise, and risky, extremely risky. That was about 2 decades ago. But today, if you want to start a retail business, it's never been easier. All you need is your smartphone. All you need is your phone. You don't need anything special. I mean, thanks to social media, thanks to websites that enable people to open up their own shops like Shopify, it's never been easier. The question is, why aren't people taking advantage of this and expanding their horizons, expanding their businesses globally? Now, I'll tell you 2 stories. The one, I think I might have mentioned this, but these are really thought-provoking, and that's why here in Durban. Many years ago. This must have been about 8 or 9 years ago. And so in the conversation, I asked him, why are you developing this? What's your need? So he says, I got this customer who comes to my store every couple of days and he buys items. But then he buys the same items over and over again. And these are appliances. I mean, why does a person need appliances every second day? So my client says, I asked the customer, why are you buying these? So he says, well, I'm selling them online. What do you mean? He says, well, I take pictures, I put them online, people order, they make payment, and then when the payment comes through in my bank, I come to you, I buy it, and then I dispatch it. I go to the post office and I ship it from there. He says, my client says, I went to see this guy's operation. When you look at his website, it looked like a professional, big company website. But when I looked at his operation, he was working out of a garage and there were boxes lying everywhere and it was untidy. So very simple approach. From his garage, he's got this business, zero risk, literally zero risk. All he does is he puts pictures. He doesn't even buy stocks. He doesn't need stocks. He puts pictures online. People come, they buy, and he buys it from the store and he ships it. He makes a profit on top of that. Now, is it really that easy? The answer is yes, it is that easy. But this is something you need to understand. This is what everybody needs to understand. It takes time. These things take time. They're not instant. You're not gonna open up your first e-commerce website and become the next Amazon in the next week. This is where most people fail. It's something that you need to give at least 2 to 3 years, and you need to be actively at it all the time. And I'll tell you what that means. I've developed e-commerce systems, beautiful e-commerce systems for lots of clients. Back in my days when I was developing, not so much anymore. And what they expect is, I'm going to build this beautiful e-commerce site. I'm going to put up my stocks and people are going to come and they're going to start buying. Just like with any business, guys, it doesn't work like that. You need to actively market your e-commerce site. You need to actively, constantly market your products. And the thing about marketing is that it's more an art than a science. No one can tell you that you need to do A, B, C, and D to market your products. It's not like that. What you need to do is you need to learn the ins and outs of social media, put out your products, figure out what works for you. If things don't work, try something else. Doesn't work, try something else. Until you click. And you're bound to click. If you apply your mind, your heart and soul into it, it's bound to work. You're bound to find that secret ingredient. And who knows, after trying and trying and trying, you might just hit one post that goes viral and suddenly you can't cope with the orders anymore. You're selling thousands of your products. But don't expect this to happen overnight or in the first week or in the first year. This is where most people fail. This is what I find frustrating. People with excellent products that has literally a global market, and they have a cell phone, but they don't take advantage of e-commerce. One of the people who frustrates me is here in Durban, there's an art gallery with a coffee shop. And I go there now and again and, do some work there, do some writing. And at the entrance, there's these guys that are making and selling these beaded jewels, beaded jewelry and beaded animals, little zebras and rhinos. Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Artistic abilities. I mean, these guys are brilliant. But they stand there the whole day in the sun and sell their products. And I say to them, guys, why don't you sell this online? You're opening up a market of hundreds of millions of people and it doesn't cost anything. But people get afraid. People get afraid that, hey man, I don't know. It's just too much. I can't. It's not too much. It's easy to get started. The hard part, if you ask me, is just being consistent. But that's up to you. It's not up to the technology. It's up to you to be consistent about it, to be at it all the time. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get started with your own e-commerce business. How cool is that? So I'm going to give you some step-by-step tips. And do me a favor, please share this with your friends, because the market is literally unlimited. The market is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and there's place for everyone. So share this video. There's an article also. We're going to put that on the IT Varsity blog. You can go and refer to it afterwards. But listen to me. Take advantage of this. There are a lot of people who are living in difficult circumstances. They could do with a little more money, with a lot more money, and they're missing out on an opportunity. Right, so step by step, how to start your own e-commerce business. Number one, identify your product. What are you going to be selling? And don't tell me you're going to be selling everything. But Amazon sells everything. No, you are not Amazon. Understand that. You are not Amazon. Amazon has made a brand out of e-commerce. So they are able to sell anything and everything. You need to find yourself a niche. And also, if you think about Amazon, how they started off selling just books. Nothing more than books, right? For years and years and years and years, all they sold was books. So first things first, identify your product. Now let's use a real product. Let's say your mom makes and bottles pickles, right? I like that example because it's such a low-tech item, and it's such an easy item to ship anywhere in the world. All right. So what do? Now everybody likes her pickles, and everybody compliments, and she's in the habit of bottling them and distributing to friends and family. Excellent stuff. Now, what you need to do is get a designer to make a nice label. So you've got your product, you've identified your product, your niche product, put a beautiful label. Then you can do one of two things. One is you can sell exclusively on social media, or you can sell on a website like Shopify. Now, Shopify is as easy, setting up a Shopify store is as easy as Gmail. Just sign up for an account, set up your store, take photos of your products, put the prices, put your products up there, and start selling. They handle everything else for you. Then you sit back and you look at your sales, and you look at your bank account. And as the sales happen, and you get a notification, you get an email. So Shopify, for example, and I prefer the Shopify route, I'll tell you why. Shopify, the moment somebody makes a purchase, they'll send you a notification, an email to say you've made a sale. You go, person's name is there, address is there, they've paid. What do you have to do next? Take your item, put it in a pretty box, go to the post office, ship it anywhere in the world. You've already received the money. Now all you need to do is ship the goods. Now, you can have one type of pickles or a range of pickles or gift pack of pickles or small little bottles in little pretty gift boxes with your branding on it. The sky is the limit. It's up to you how you want to sell these pickles and at what price. Obviously, the price needs to be competitive. Don't undercut yourself, not too cheap, and don't be too expensive, because remember, there's competition out there. Right, so now you've got your product or products, and you've got your e-commerce store. Now, like I said, you can also go social media, and social media have become a lot more capable. I mean, even WhatsApp. You can even do business on WhatsApp. You can start a WhatsApp store. I find those are not quite matured yet. Social media are good for marketing, but for selling, they're not quite there yet. I would prefer you have your Shopify store, your website where everything is. Right, so now you've got your store set up, you've got your products there, you've got your prices, credit card payments, all handled by Shopify, EFT payments, if people don't have credit cards, all sorted. All right, now you sit back and let things happen. Huh? Not at all. Not at all, my friends. Not at all. The next thing you need to do is to now actively market your site and your products. And that's where you need some marketing skills. Now, marketing is not difficult, but people tend to struggle with it because they don't take the time and don't make the effort to figure things out. Marketing is really so simple. It's placing the right product in front of the right people. That's it. Or, putting it another way, solving a problem for somebody. That's it. And telling them how you are solving your problem. Now, when it comes to marketing, there's two things you must remember. Well, three things. One is you need to be very clear about your message. What exactly you are trying to say, or what are you selling? I am selling homemade, South African, traditional, age-old recipe pickles. You see, that's what I'm selling. So your message is very clear. Second, you need to find who your target audience is. Who are the people most likely to buy from you those pickles? I mean, you're not going to advertise your pickles on a sportsman's magazine, or you're not going to advertise it in a computer magazine or a computer website or blog. You're gonna advertise your pickles where people are showing an interest in cooking, in food, in eating, where restaurants and where other food product sellers are marketing their stuff. So you need to look at where people are marketing that type of product. So be clear in your message, find your target audience, and knock their doors. Start talking to them. Now, that's the first thing, right? Marketing. Once you hit that, you are on your way. But it takes time. It takes time to figure that out. Second, familiarize yourself with the ins and outs, the ups and downs of e-commerce. What exactly does it entail? I mean, it's best to learn on the job, but by reading a couple of books, doing a couple of courses, listening to what I'm telling you now, you can save yourself some problems down the line. So read a little bit about it. You don't have to buy a whole book or do a whole course. Go online, watch some YouTube videos. It doesn't cost you anything. Understand what are the pitfalls, like, for example, fraud, hackers, etc. Next, it's regarding your pricing. I told you about your pricing. It must be competitive. And then here's the most important part, building up a reputation. How do you build up a reputation online? The answer is actually much simpler and much more challenging than you think. To build up a reputation, you need to be constantly out there on social media. You need to find your target audience and you need to tell them what they want to hear. Now, there's one thing frustrates me about many e-commerce stores, and that is they don't have enough information about their products. For example, you go to a sneaker store and you want to buy a pair of sneakers. Now, remember, in an e-commerce environment, your customers don't have the luxury of picking up an item, feeling it, looking at it. So you need to compensate for that. You need to compensate for that by what? Putting as much information as possible. Pictures, videos, even 3D models, YouTube videos. Nothing stops you from, doing a review of your products, getting customer testimonials on video and putting it out there. But you can take it further. You can engage your audiences by showing them the whole process. I mean, without giving away your secret recipes and all. Show them how you're making these pickles. Give them some recipes. Give them some how-tos. I mean, not your core recipe, obviously. And what happens is you become somebody that people look up to, and a person with a good reputation, a person who people want to listen to. And remember, people don't buy products; they buy people. They buy trust. They buy, they buy your reputation. If they trust you, they will buy from you. If they don't trust you, they won't buy from you. So make sure that people trust you. And there's no better way than social media. And I'll give you an example. There's one young lady that I spoke to sells clothes online. And one of the things she puts on social media, this is so cool, you think, how do people even think about these things? When somebody places an order, look at the personal touch. Let's say John places an order. So what she'll do is, as she's packing in her little garage/warehouse, as she's packing John's order, and she's putting the wrapping paper and the address, she records all of that. And then she says to the camera, this is John's order. John, your order is coming. You're almost there. It will reach you in a couple of days' time. So the whole process of packing it, driving to the post office, shipping it, she makes a video out of that. Now, how cool is that? Now, one other thing she could do, which I don't know if she does, but she could do, is get models to just wear her clothes, and you don't have to pay professional models to do all that, right? You can get friends and family, get them to wear the clothes and do videos, because people like to see how it fits on the body. One is putting clothes on a mannequin or just showing a shirt on a hanger, doesn't look very appealing. But put it on a smartly dressed person and suddenly the appeal is gone up. So you need to learn these things. You need to learn how to make your products more appealing, how to make yourself more engaging, more entertaining, more appealing. Like I said, with the pickles also, you could do something similar. You can do a personalized touch. You can show your kitchen. You can show your some of your recipes. You can have people review. And you can also send samples to influencers. Influencers are people on social media who have thousands of followers. Send it to them for free and say, would you mind reviewing this on your social media channel? Sometimes you might have to pay for that too. But the thing is, while you are becoming an influencer, you can piggyback off other influencers. You can learn from them. And you can use their platforms. So you need to be actively selling your products. And trust me when I tell you, weeks will go by, you won't sell anything. But the moment you sell the first item, there's such a joy to that, because now your business is actually a business because you've just sold a product. So you need to learn to be consistent and persistent and hang in there. And then you will get there. And as far as social media goes, don't spend too much time thinking which channel, which platform should I be on. Be everywhere. Wherever you get a chance to talk about your products, talk about your products. You need to draw attention to your products, because that's how people will come to know about you. If you don't constantly draw attention, no one's going to do it for you. Your customers are not going to do it for you. You're going to need to do it yourself. Now, there's lots and lots of benefits of e-commerce, but there's no time to go into all that. The article is going to be on the IT Varsity blog. You can go and check it out, itvarsity.org. Go to the menu on the top. You'll find the blog there. But I think you get the picture. The main benefit is a potentially global market. Imagine. It's hard work. It takes time. But boy, oh boy, when it clicks, you can become very, very wealthy. I mean, I know people who just do nothing but stay at home and sell things online, and they are very wealthy. So just keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to draw this one out, and I'm going to look. If you got any questions, guys, just put it out here. If you've got ideas, if you've got questions, I'm going to see who's here. Well, all my regulars are here. Lots of good mornings. Mishak, nice to see you here. Biggs, nice to see you. So Future Metabogic got a question. What data do you need to migrate, and what system do you need integrated? I'm not sure what that means or how that relates to e-commerce. Future, if you don't mind refining your question. Anybody else got a question? Who wants to start their own e-commerce store? Come on, tell me that. And you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be passionate about what you're selling, right? If you're passionate about sneakers, sell sneakers. Passionate about, I don't know, like our example, pickles, sell pickles. You're passionate about teaching, make your own online courses. For example, you're good at confectionery, make some courses teaching people how to make their own confectionery and sell that. There's literally very little that you can't sell online. Could be physical products or digital products. It's up to you. And that's the cool thing about online. And nowadays with shipping companies and even post offices being so much more efficient than before, shipping is not an issue any longer. You've literally got the world in the palm of your hands. Akifa says the issue is getting started. Always. That's where most people fail. They fail without even trying. Because if you don't try, that's the worst form of failure. Let me put it this way. It's very, very difficult to fail once you start. It's very difficult. Most people who fail only fail because they gave up. All right, guys, so I'm going to stop there and end off this episode. I don't see any more comments or questions coming. But you can always continue to put your questions down here. And don't forget, share this video with your friends. Share it with your families. There are people out there who are looking for opportunities that could do with an opportunity like this. It's so easy. Get down to it. Get started. Get going. And make a global brand for yourself. And don't worry about failing. It's all up to you. Only you can make it work. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.